Great. Just once again, reminding everybody that this is being recorded, so you can review it later. Another thing, just to let everybody know, this is more of a lockdown meeting. So as you can tell, you can't turn on your microphones or your videos. If you do have any questions, we are going to address them at the end. You cannot enter in chat, but there is a function at the bottom right. You can see the 9 little dots. They're meeting tools. If you go into that, you can find the question and answer section where you will be able to submit questions through that, and we can address them as needed. But once again, if we go through anything and you have a question, by all means, ask whenever you want, but we're not going to address them until the very end of the meeting. All right. So welcome, everybody. This is the Coaches and Coxswains meeting for the NEWMAC Championship and other collegiate racing hosted on Lake Quinsigamond this upcoming weekend, April 25th. So if you've been part of these CNCs before, you're this year, excuse me, if you've been part of these CNCs this year, you will know that due to unforeseen circumstances, racing looks a little different on our lake. Our main dock at Donahue has had significant damage from the wintertime, and we are adjusting as best we can. I cannot state enough how much we appreciate the flexibility that has been on display by all programs, both visiting and local. So thank you guys very much. It's been very helpful. So let's jump right in. Welcome. My name is Thad Gamula. For those of you who don't know me, I host these Coaches and Coxswains meeting. I will be presenting the information tonight. Joining me are the local host head coaches, Greg Costio from Assumption, Mike McDonald from Clark, Andrea Landry from Holy Cross, Jason Steele, and Larry Noble from WPI. Also on the call is our chief referee for our spring racing series, Mr. John Quinn. He will present the refereeing points later on in the presentation. This weekend is hosted out of 2 locations, just like the last several weekends have been. Donahue Rowing Center in Shrewsbury and Regatta Point Park in Worcester. The vast majority of you will be rowing out of Regatta Point. Once again, DRC has broken docks, and we cannot actually host large quantities of guests out of Donahue. So I am going to briefly go over parking. It's not what everyone's used to for the regular season racing. It's more along the lines of championship style parking. All visiting crews are going to be at Regatta Point. So just like if you come here during a championship regatta, you will come in, so the best way we direct everybody is to come down North Road, which is along the hospital, and you come in the far north gate of that Regatta Point parking lot. And we're going to stage you from the very south end, which you can see on this map here, and go all the way up. I think the amount is about 13 trailers, so there is plenty of room, but please don't take up too much space. There will be people parking you. And coaches, gates open at 6 a.m. Please do not get there before that. They will open at 6 a.m., no earlier. There will be a local police officer there directing traffic and allowing you in and out. So please, 6 a.m. gates open, show up no earlier, and then, just don't pull in and take up a bunch of space. Be respectful of everybody else around, and once again, thank you for making this adjustment for this year. The rest of the parking lot is going to be very, very limited spectator parking. It's not going to be a lot. So if you're not expecting to arrive very early, you will most likely not be allowed to park in the parking lot here. It is also a parking kiosk there where you're going to have to pay a fee to park there. So it's very limited. Spectators will be at the north end of the lot. We do have handicap parking in the lot. Just let the police officer at the gate know. and he will direct anybody who needs handicap parking further on down into Regatta Point. I highly recommend that you park along the road where it's safe, or you just go to the hospital parking garage. Yes, it's a paid parking garage, but that's the spot where you're going to have the guaranteed spot. We're going to shut spectator parking in any vehicle that's not a trailer parking in that north end of the lot off very early. Buses dropping teams off will drop teams off directly at Regatta Point. If there is space, the bus will be able to park along the street. Otherwise, they will be sent to drive around the lake and park at Corazzini Boat Ramp. That's the boat ramp next to Donahue. And once again, we do have handicap parking available at both locations if needed. Okay, so let's talk about launching from Regatta Point. The vast majority of you will be launching your boats from Regatta Point. Teams will use the South Dock and the Awards Dock for launching and landing. We ask you to be quick on the dock so all teams can get out on the water or come back in a timely manner. This weekend is, just like last weekend, what we call a reverse traffic pattern. For those of you who are used to visiting and competing in the championship regattas, you will recognize this traffic pattern used this weekend. When launching from Regatta Point, you will proceed directly up the Worcester side of the lake, no crossing the course. You can see the green arrows here. You follow up along the course. The difference from last weekend is there is a fully buoyed lane 0. My best advice to you is not to hug the buoy line when traveling to the start. We will have 1 7-boat race for the NEWMAC Championship. So it's best to assume that if you're traveling along the lane lines, that any race could be coming down right next to you. So give them a little space. If you are launching from DRC, I'm going to switch to this next graphic just to show the general overall portion of the course. If you are launching from DRC, which is limited to local schools, you have 2 options. You row straight across from the DRC and then proceed north up the Worcester shore to the start. Once again, be mindful of races. Or you get to row south along the Shrewsbury side. Per usual, please do not go beyond the 1,500 meter mark warming up if you travel south. Once again, you will turn 90 degrees to cross the course, ensuring that there's no races coming your way. And then you're going to go directly across to the Worcester side and travel north with all the warming up crews coming out of Regatta Point. Now, both Regatta Point crews and DRC crews who are joining the northward traveling, please, I'd like to point out the pump house, which is the shallow marked area that you can see on this map. It's a little yellow shaded polygon. It is directly across from Donahue. It's shallow. We have a buoy there. As a matter of fact, I think last weekend they placed a dining room table chair there. And if that doesn't give you an idea of how shallow it is, just stay away from that area. You will rip out the bottom of your boat. You will rip a skeg. So please stay away from that area. Once you get past the pump house, you will see the 290 bridge directly in front of you, which is our starting area. You will go through the small span directly in front of you. The large span is for racing. Now, when you go through the 290 bridge, there is to be no pressure. I don't want any practice starts going through the 290 bridge. There will be crews up in the warm-up area circling around and warming up. If you are doing a pressure piece going through the bridge, you could very well collide with another crew. So absolutely no pressure going through the bridge. This is a zoomed in view of the starting area. So once again, you come through that small span under the 290 bridge, and then you're going to travel in a clockwise direction. There are 3 large white buoys in the center of the start cove, the warm-up cove. You travel in a clockwise direction around them. Please note the do not enter red shaded area on this map. It's the far cove. We have lots of crews that like to go all the way back there, and our referees are juggling around and trying to keep things moving. They do not have the time to zip up there and go find you if your race has been called. The main point we ask you not to go back there is because you will get out of earshot of the referees, and you need to stay close within the buoys so you can hear when your race is called. We also have local fishermen back there who are not happy if you go back there and interrupt what they are doing. So when your race is called, you will enter the course between the far east pier and the Shrewsbury shore. I'm going to actually bring up a better photo of that. So this is a view from sitting in between those three large buoys I talk about in the warm-up cove. You can see off to your right is Worcester Shore, and then that first small span between the piers is where you're going to be entering, traveling north from Regatta Point. You're going to be making your clockwise pattern around the buoys, and then off to the left is the entrance to the start. It's a set of piers and then shore. You are going to go through that span to enter into the course. That large span in the middle is the racing span where all of our stake boats are in. We have 7 fully buoyed lanes, and we have 7 stake boats out there. At no point are you to go between the stake boats. There's plenty of ropes hanging in the water. Please follow the traffic pattern, go through that small pier. And once again, Coxswains, you will enter in numeric order when it's called. So 0, 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth. Once you get past that pier, you will turn 90 degrees to your starboard and row across into your lane. Please be mindful of what the weather is doing. Last thing we want is a crew to be backing it down into the stake boats from 150 meters out with a absolute ripping tailwind, so it's pushing you further. So please be aware of the weather situation and make adjustments for how you back into your stake boat. If you are unsure of how to lock onto a stake boat, Coxswains, by all means, talk to your coaches. You got a couple more days before the races. Practice it. Practice. Once all are locked on, you'll be aligned. And then just to go over that process and to further go over the U.S. rowing portions of the presentation, I would like to introduce the chief referee, John Quinn. John?
Yeah, thanks, Thad. Sorry in advance for my hoarse throat, but pollen season is upon us. To emphasize what Thad said, again, be very, very mindful and very, very cautious, if you would, about the shallow areas on the lake, which are directly across from the Donahue Rowing Center. If you get close to the shore there, you will do damage to your boat. And one other point where it's kind of close to the outer limits of racing is at about the 1,000-meter mark at the lane 0 side. The travel lane gets pretty close to the buoy lanes at that point. So if you're warming up going to the start and you're at about the 1,000-meter mark and there's an event using lane 0, you will be very close to the racing lanes. Please be attentive. Stop when the race is approaching and afford them the same courtesy that you would like to be afforded yourself. The purpose of the referees, as I say every time, is safety first and fairness second. So everything that we do is with safety in mind. If you have any questions at all when we get done this, please put your hand up electronically and ask the question. If you have any questions at all, and we will be down there, although we will be assembling at Donahue. If you have any questions that you're burning to ask, get to us and ask the question. We'd rather answer the question on the land instead of trying to have someone uninformed go on the water. So I think what Thad said about approaching the starting line is pretty self-evident. Just be very, very careful as you go through the small arch. Again, do not go through upstream through the arch that has the stake boats in. The stake boat arch is for stake boats only and racing lanes only. The travel up to the start and the travel to loading the stake boats is through the small arch on the between the pier and the shore on either side. When the race in front of you starts, we will ask that we will call you down and have you accumulate and bunch together on approximately the lane 6 side of the course. In other words, the Shrewsbury side. We'll then tell you to come into the course, and we want you to come into the course between the pier and the shore, but come in low numbers first. Lane 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again, I cannot emphasize enough that if there's a wind on Quinsigamond, it will swirl and it will be swirling around the start. So please, don't back in. Don't try to back in 150 or 200 meters. When you come across to come into the stake boats, come across right as soon as you cross the bottom of the pier and very, very close to the stake boats. Pardon me. So again, back in. If you have trouble backing in, please, we will help you if you ask us to help you. We will not presume that you want help unless you identify it as you needing help. Put your hand in the air and let us know right away that you're in need of some assistance, and we will try to help you. We will try to help you to a certain extent. We will not delay races if you're unable to get on the stake boat or incapable of getting on the stake boat or anything like that. We will have to excuse you and start the race without you because, again, that's where the fairness comes in. If you have 5 boats on the stake boats and one can't get on through no fault of the other 5, it's only fair that we get the race started and get it going. Once you get on the stake boats, you will be aligned from your port side. You will hear the aligner talk in your coxswains in your left ear. The aligner will be talking to the persons in the stake boat. Push in, pull out, or pull in, push out, and they'll give a distance and a direction. It's not necessary for you to assist unless we tell you to. Once you get on the stake boats, just sit there quietly, paddle lightly if you have to, but don't pull yourself off the stake boat. Once you get affixed to the stake boat, if you have to pull around a little, try to scull with a 3 taking 2's oar or 2 taking bow's oar and pull around gently and have someone on the opposite side back down lightly to keep the stern of the boat affixed to the stake boats. If it's nice weather, if there's no wind, we will have a standard start, which means that we will go through as soon as we get everyone aligned. The aligners / judge of the start will show a white flag, and the starter, who will be behind the stake boats in a motorboat, will go through and announce each of the crews, starting at lane 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There's nothing you have to do at that point. Once you start that process, hands will not be recognized. But once you start that process, again, the starting ascent is essentially in process. Maintain your point. Once the crews are all announced, the starting commands will be attention, a red flag will go up, and go. Attention, go. And it will be done pretty quickly. We won't leave you sitting there. If it's really, really bad and we cannot take the time to announce the crews, we will have to do what we call a quick start. And if the starter is going to use a quick start, which may vary from race to race, and it will be at the prerogative of the starter, she or he will say, this will be a quick start. And then they'll announce that beforehand. And then as soon as we get in alignment, they'll say, quick start, attention, go, accompanied by a drop of a red flag. Okay, if you leave the start before the flag drops, We will stop the race, call you back, and you'll be assigned a warning. 2 warnings, and you're out of the race. Once you start, there's a 100-meter broken equipment zone that's marked in the course by a line of red buoys. If something breaks in the start zone, and that means broken equipment, does not mean a bad start, does not mean a crab, does not anything like that. It means broken equipment. Stop rowing. Get your hand in the air. Okay, and the referee will stop the race, attend to you, and we'll restart the race. We had such a situation last week where we had a steering apparatus and a 4 broke within the broken equipment zone. The process worked beautifully. So again, give us a chance to do what's supposed to be done. Over the body of the course, the 500-meter markers are each marked with a line of red buoys. 500, 1,000, 1,500, and 2,000 are each marked with a line of red buoys across the entire width of the course. That will not be announced. You'll just have to see it as you go by. If steering the boat will be your own issue, we will not steer the boat for you. We will not steer the course for you. If you are about to strike another crew or wash another crew, we will direct you in the direction we want you to head. We'll call the crew's name and show a white flag in the direction we want you to head. We will do that, and you're to make that correction right away. We will not do it 10 strokes ahead of time, but please, when your name is called and a flag is shown, please move right away. The lanes are very, very straight. The course is in excellent condition. The lanes are wide. There should be no need for not being able to steer them properly. At the finish line, on the starboard side, you will see a little island right past the boathouse area, and there'll be a tier of bleachers, and they will hold the finish line, folks. You'll see a red flag out there for the last 200 meters or so. And as the first crew goes across the finish line, the red flag will come down and you'll hear a beep. And when the second crew goes across, you'll hear a beep again and the flag will go up, and so on and so forth until everyone gets across the finish line. At the end of the race, the referee will do nothing. She or he will stand there and just make sure everyone is okay. If everyone is okay and the race has been cleanly raced, she or he will show a white flag, and that will mean the race is official and final, and we will give the time to the finish line, and that will be it. If you feel your right to win the race has been compromised in any way, shape, or form, please put your hand in the air and let us know that, but do it before the white flag goes up, please. The referee will talk to you and try to answer your question. If your question is answered satisfactorily, they'll show a white flag and the race will be final. If you feel that your right to win the race has been taken away, you do have the right to protest. If you protest, a red flag will be shown, which means the race will be unofficial. You will have a half an hour after you get off the water to get a written protest into the dockmaster, wherever you're boated from, stating what you feel the protest is, accompanied by a check or money order or money for $50. And we will hear the protest at the end of racing at Donahue. I repeat, at Donahue. We haven't had any protest this year, but I just want to mention it. In the rules of racing, it does say that if a race is finished with one person out of the boat, the crew may continue. If someone falls out of the boat, obviously if the captain falls out, we don't want you to continue, and that's covered in the rules of racing. But if someone leaves the boat, exits the boat, stop rowing, please. We had a cold winter. The water is very, very cold. And the last thing we want you to do is to row away from someone that's in the water. We had just a thing happen last weekend, as a matter of fact. The crew stopped. They got the rower, didn't leave the rower, and the referee came along, scooped the rower out of the water, and everything was fine. That's about it. I think if you have any questions, please get your hand in the air. We want to make it as user-friendly as you can. We're trying to have the referees be as helpful as we can. Hopefully, you'll hear a lot of pleases and thank yous, and we would ask that you extend us the same courtesies. Other than that, have a nice, great day racing, and we hope there's no wind.
Thank you, John. And just to echo John, once again, obviously the speaking function's turned off. So if you do have a question on anything John said, I advise you to go to there's an icon in the bottom right of your screen. It's a grid of 9 dots. You click it, you go to the question and answers function. You can ask all questions through there, and we will go through it. At the very end of the presentation, there's just a couple more slides here, but please, if you have any questions, enter it through that questions and answer function, and we'll go through it at the end. So return traffic. After the race has finished, as John said, please hold water until the referees have made the race official. All crews will then move to the Worcester shore. Boats landing at Regatta Point may use either the awards dock or the south dock to land. Please be quick at the dock. Do not, if you're a bunch of boats launching and you see a race is finished and sitting awaiting to land, get off the docks. We've had a couple incidents where there were people just sitting, waiting to land. The other problem with that is you're right at the finish line. So if you're waiting to land, please do not sit right across from the finish line or on the finish line. The officials or anybody who's working at the finish line will ask you to move. Those landing at DRC will row back up the Worcester shore, just like they did in the warm-up. And once you are directly across from Donahue, wait for no races, then turn and go straight to the DRC docks. Once again, please do not cross in front of any races. We always ask that if there's a race going past you when you're warming up or after your races, please stop your boat until the race goes past, and then you can continue moving. Return traffic. So once again, watch for oncoming races and stay away from the course. And I just said it, but if a race is coming down, please stop your crew until the race passes, then continue. There is absolutely no urination in the lake. There are porta potties at Regatta Point and public bathrooms at both sites. If you are caught urinating in the lake, your program is subject to a 1-year ban and you are subject to criminal charges. So at this point, that covers everything. I am actually going to bring in, give me 1 second. This is once again the time where if you do have any questions, please use the question and answer function. Once again, a recording of this meeting will be on the Quinsigamond Rowing Association YouTube channel that I will send to the host coaches to send to the visiting. There is a course tour available to watch on the YouTube channel. So if you haven't been here in a while and you want to see what the course looks like, please use that option. You can go through, you can find it's easy to find. It's a pretty simple course tour available to watch. Okay, let's see what the questions are. All right, so let's go through. Will weigh-ins be in the normal location for Regatta Point? That's a good question, Tessa. I'm actually going to try to get an answer to that as quickly as I can for you. We'll just move on to the next one. Will there be a U.S. rowing official at Regatta Point or only at Donahue this weekend? John?
They will be at Donahue. It will be at Donahue.
Okay. Yeah.
Again, as Thad had said, the logistics running the races for the past month has just been kind of challenging. So we doing our best, but please let us know if there's anything at all that any questions. Please get them to us, and we'll find a way to answer them.
Yeah, perfect. And as always, if you have any pressing matters, they're always more than willing to answer the questions. So the answer for the weigh-ins, it will be in the conference room. So that if you're familiar with Regatta Point, there's a conference room where all the referees meet for the championships, not for this weekend. It's the championships. You won't be able to miss it. It's a big conference room. And the times are from 6:45 to 7:15. So the weigh-ins once again will be in that Regatta Point conference room from 6:45 to 7:15 for the NEWMAC Championship.
That I might ask, as there are weights, if there are weights that are carried in any race, the referee will ask to see the weight at the end of the race. Just hold it up, and we'll be satisfied with it.
Perfect. Will McCarthy McGee be out of Regatta Point this year? I'm assuming the Cup. Yes, they're holding any ceremonies whatsoever that happen down at Regatta Point to make it easier for the visiting schools. So any ceremony and that includes the NEWMAC Championship. Everything's going to be out of Regatta Point. So visiting schools, you won't have to go anywhere. It's the local schools that will come around and come down to there. So to confirm, the dockmaster will be, yes. So the dockmaster for each, so each hosting school is supposed to have a dockmaster on the dock. I do believe for NEWMAC, the gentleman is he's highly visible. He's got the WPI jacket on. He does have a radio. He does have a connection directly to the officials. So yes. Give it another minute to see if we have any more questions. And if not, I will end up stopping the recording. And I thank everybody for attending and look forward to seeing you all this weekend. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.